Okay, today I went and I actually went to Universal and I walked the strike line, and it was really kind of interesting because, like, I'm kind of realizing why some people were upset with me because I was working as a background artist, and from their perspective, that's not working. But it was working because I got a paycheck, and I basically had to put up with a lot. I was required to be where I was like, if you work on a set, you're required to be there to do whatever they tell you to do for the time period you're supposed to be there, and then you can't leave until you're done. So it's like, I don't think people realize that when you do that kind of job, it's difficult to do something else. And it's also difficult to balance other things. There were people I knew on sets who were actually writers, who were freelance writers, who were working on sets while also doing writing. And I was doing other things, like I would go to script readings and I would take script classes, and I was taking classes online because I wanted to work in production. So it wasn't like I wasn't doing other things. And the people attacking me, it's like, you do realize you don't know what's going on in my life because I'm not sharing that information, and you don't have the right to know. You know, it's like one of these situations where these people decided, we know that all you do financially is work on set, so therefore you must be lazy. And I'm thinking, no, and the thing, there's a kind of deceptive dishonesty with that, though, because there were people who did know I was doing other things. There were people who I told I was working to take classes to study and do other things, making the presumption that because my only source of income was working on sets, because I was doing a lot of stuff where I wasn't getting paid at all. And it was a lot of work to do those things in order to be able to get experience, whether it's acting or script writing, or I judged scripts for the Scriptwriters Network, didn't get paid for that. I went to script classes and acted as a reader, didn't get paid for that. I did casting workshops that I paid for so I could actually get experience, so I could maybe get hired, because people would know that I could actually cold read and would know I'd get a reputation. We're like, oh, she can do this. So it's like this catch-22, and I had busted knees. I walked for 45 minutes today, but I couldn't do more than that probably. And working as a background artist, I wasn't on my feet all the time. Like, a lot of times people don't realize this when you're doing something like background. Yeah, you cross, you walk, there's part of your job, but it's not consistent because they have to like move the cameras around and they have to change the angles of the cameras. So it's like you walk for like an hour and then you wait. And then you walk for an hour, and then you wait. And so that was kind of my day. So I wasn't like me consistently being in motion. So I think that's one of the reasons why I was able to do that. And there were times when I just had to buck up, because there were like times when they had me do things like walking stairs. That was like they were torturing me. On Eli Stone, they had me walk up and down these stairs, and I was silently screaming the entire time, but I put up with it because I'm thinking, okay, this is just one day of them doing this to me. They're not going to do this to me every time. It's just one day. And I keep wondering, because it was the law show, if they were trying to see, because there were people who went to law school with me who I think honestly thought that I faked the injury. Because I had a car accident in 1997. It was the weekend before my last year of law school. And what people don't know is that was the very first time in my life that was incapacitated. It was the very first time in my life when all of a sudden I wasn't able to walk and had been put in a position where I was like, I felt hopeless. And my parents had just recently moved to Arizona, and I was alone. And I didn't get along with my parents anyway, so even if they'd been there, it wouldn't have been very helpful for me. But at the same time, it was my first time when there was no net to catch me, in a sense. So I was freaking out on so many different levels. I think I had a little minor PTSD going on. And I was in pain. And like, I remember this guy who went to law school with, who was from California, Jimmy Moye. He says to me, well, at least you're not in a lot of pain. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? And I'm realizing it's because we are so used to watching television shows and seeing people, maybe he was too because he was from California, and people express their emotions. And yet we don't always express our emotions. Like, even a good actor sometimes doesn't show their pain. They don't want people to know. But we are so used to people just being, I guess, we watch television, we think, well, this is the way people behave. And I'm like, no, because it's like, I was in pain and I was hiding my emotions because I felt like I was in a school full of vultures. I didn't want people to know that I was in this position, especially some of the men, because I felt like I was being preyed on. I was being preyed on by a guy who wanted my job. I felt like there was all these political maneuverings going on because I was the ABA representative and people wanted my position. Because the school sent me to San Francisco for a week. I think that's one of the reasons why people really wanted my job, because I got to travel for the school, and I didn't even know that was going to happen when I got the position, and it wasn't paid. I mean, I guess my pay was going to all these locations like Ohio, Virginia, and California to represent Catholic law school. But like, I wanted to be an actor, not because I wanted to be rich. I wanted to be an actor because I really enjoyed doing acting. And to me, it wasn't play, it was working. And I don't now enjoy doing anything. It's like, I don't want a job where all I'm doing is making money. I want a calling. And to me, acting was my calling. So today I walked. And I walked, though, because I realized that I think I've been labeled the B word by people who don't know the whole story. They don't know I lost my breast to cancer. They don't know I was tripped on a set. They don't know I was sexually assaulted. And they don't know that I'm incredibly reclusive and private, and I don't like people getting in my business. I mean, it's kind of interesting because a narcissist supposedly doesn't know boundaries. I'm a woman who wanted to keep my boundaries, dealing with narcissists who want everyone to think that I'm the narcissist and who want people to think that I can't be an actor because I'm not a narcissist. Like, a true narcissist would make it as an actor, just because they will do anything to do it, and they will do anything and craft it any way they want to make it. And I'm kind of one of those people who wants people to respect my boundaries, stay out of my business, and just let me do the job of acting. I don't need a lot of money to be happy. I just needed to be able to be healthy. Like, I would rather have a good, healthy meal and be able to make art and walk in the woods than have, like, expensive, like, I don't know. I don't want to go to the Met Gala and wear like a $1 million dress and be like, I'm rich. This costs money and I've got it. Because that's just kind of disgusting to me. It is. But anyways, I don't look very good. So I know I'm not going to be hired as an actor anymore, yet that's the only reason I really care about being hired. Like, I don't even enjoy writing anymore because it's like it all ties together. So for those of you who thought I was being lazy and that's why you did it to me, because I wasn't practicing law, because I wasn't working as a waitress, take a hammer to your knees, because then you'll know how I felt a lot of times. I'm a very strong person. I used to be a runner. I can't run anymore. I haven't run since 1997. Hiking in the woods and riding horses are my things that I like to do now. And I haven't done yoga. I haven't exercised in a long time because I haven't cared. And plus, I have a problem. I'm underweight. Like, I try to exercise and I end up losing more weight, and the objective is for me to get to a weight where I'm strong enough to be able to exercise. It's like 22. Like, I bet if I step on the scale right now, I will be underweight. So, that was my day today. I've been talking for 8 minutes and 14 seconds. I went to Universal. I'm tired. Wow, I'm going to sleep tonight then. I went to Universal today, and I'm probably going to go. I'm thinking about Disney and Warner tomorrow, but I'm going to see how I feel. Because if I go to Disney and Warner, I'm probably going to walk both of them. Like, I'm going to start at one of them, walk to the other one, turn around, walk back, and then hand in my sign. Because they're 20 minutes apart from each other. I figured I might as well hit both of them at the same time, and then spend the rest of the day writing. Because I've got blogs I've got to write about this weekend. I did some art events this weekend. I want to write about them. I'm not making any money right now with my blogs, but I figured, you know what, maybe if I start, I'll figure out how to make money. I need to monetize my websites and figure out how to monetize my websites, because I want people to read my websites, but I want to give them a reason to read my websites. But in order to do that, I need to make content. So part of me making content, and I'm also evolving. I think with Artistic Hope, what I really want to do is I want to start writing more about how we need the arts to make change. And our culture is important, and our culture is impacting everything from whether or not a kid wants a gun, to whether a kid wants to get a vaccine, to whether a kid cares about the environment. And if we don't start creating culture and art, yes, it's a business. But if it's a business that doesn't care about those things, then it's a business that's going to self-destruct. Because it's a business that's going to leave humanity behind. And that's the thing with the Writers Guild and the Writers Walk. I'm really tired. I'm digressing. But with the writers striking, the reason SAG-AFTRA actors need to care is AI. Because if AI replaces writers, it'll replace actors too. Think about that.